The independent checkpoint unit 8A through 8E. I'm going to try to give you some good input on each question without trying to take too long to explain each item. So make sure you ask if you don't understand something I'm talking about anywhere in this video. All right, looking at the first one, how would I describe the following expression? Well, from my choices, I'm either calling it a polynomial or not a polynomial. And if I am, I need to know whether it's a monomial, binomial, or trinomial. Well, first off, looking right up here at the negative second power, we are not allowed to have negative exponents on variables for polynomials. So immediately, I'm going to answer A for that one. Number two, how would I describe the following expression? Some of you may have picked not a polynomial because you remembered we're not allowed to have fractions. Well, if we have x to the 1/2 power, that's what we're not allowed to have. Fractions are actually okay if they're not exponents. So we actually are okay here. This is a polynomial. And I have two terms. A two-term polynomial is known as a, whoops, I'm so sorry, I did not mean to circle that one, is known as a binomial. All right, moving along. How would you describe this one? Well, terms are separated by addition and subtraction. So there's definitely just one of those. And since I have no negative exponents, no fractional exponents, then I'm going to look at this one and realize it's 7 times x times y. That's not a trinomial, as some of you might think, because the multiplication is what's going on, not addition. There is one term there, so that's actually a monomial. Okay, moving along to the rest of this quiz, starting with number 4, I'm giving you some simple simplifications here. If you ever have a base to a negative power, it's got to go down to the basement. And if there's nothing left on top, we have to put a 1. So 1 over x to the positive second power. And if we look, that's choice D for number 4. Number 5, I definitely want to get rid of negative exponents if at all possible. Well, I don't have negative exponents, so I'm just going to think about it as top heavy, bottom heavy. If I were to write out 5y's on the top and 7y's on the bottom, all 5y's would cancel, and I would be left with 2y's on the bottom. Be careful with choice A, it's a distractor. There's really a 1 on top, and the y-squareds are on the bottom. So B is the answer to that one. Going on to number 6, 3 to the negative second. Before I even try to do this problem and think it's negative 9 or something, I take the exponents and I move them to the bottom. So this is really 1 over 3 to the positive second power. 1 over 3 squared is actually equivalent to 1 over 9, D. Same here, be very careful. This is not saying 5x to the negative first. That's not what this is saying. It's saying x to the negative first. So the only item that actually moves down to the basement is the x to the negative first. So the 5 stays up top. We move the variable down and make the exponent positive. Choice A is the correct answer to that one. All right, moving on to the second page of our quiz. This is one right here where you got to really look out for distractors. First of all, if I look at this problem and realize that it's powers of powers, there's a big old distractor out there, and that's the number 9 on A and C. Both of these are not the correct answer. You do bring the 3 through, but to the exponent of 1 up there. So the first thing we write is 3 cubed. 3 cubed is absolutely not 9. It actually is 27. So we got to keep going. You bring the 3 to the 2. So now I have x to the, well, this is a power of a power, so that rule is to multiply. So 3 times 2 is 6. And then 3 times 5, when you bring it through to the y, would be 15. So you can see right here, 3 cubed, like I said, is 27. X to the 6th, y to the 15th. That would be choice B. Please note, choice D is not just a thought-up answer. That it's actually a very specific distractor. If you look at the variables here, 5 and 8, that would be if you were to add the exponents, which you're not supposed to do. So that's a very strong distractor on that problem. Okay, moving on to number 9. We make these harder than they have to be a lot of times. It is subtraction. You have to make sure the subtraction carries through. So we thought about these as having a negative 1, and we brought the negative 1 through to all parts. So we just keep the first trinomial the same. And then when we bring the negative through, it's negative 3w squared, negative 7wz. That's the only thing I'm really concerned about, is you guys bringing the negative through. And then when I do the negative through to the back, that turns into a positive 9z squared. And what we want to look for now is when we're combining like terms. So I have 6w squared here. I've got negative 3w squared there. That's a grand total of 3w squared. That did not really help me because they all say 3w squared. So if I go ahead and look at the next one, negative 5wz, negative 7wz, that gives me negative 12wz's when I put them together. Well, there's only one answer that has that, so my choice is going to have to be D. And it does work out with the last two terms when you just combine them. Remember, combining like terms here, we don't change the exponents there. Okay? All right, moving on to number 10. We have simplify again, and this is as if the addition was just saying, they were just saying combine like terms. So all you want to do in this case is you're going to bring through a positive 1 that doesn't change anything. So I have 5x to the fourth, negative 7x to the fourth. Again, nothing changes with the powers, which on this multiple choice, there's no distractor doing that, so that shouldn't have thrown you for a loop. But when I put this together, I get negative 2x to the fourth. So B is gone. When I try to find out what goes with 4x, 4x and negative 2x make positive 2x. So choice A is gone. And then I look at the last ones, 4 and a positive 2. Since the positive's out here, that's actually 6. That gives me answer of C. Number 11 was just like number 9 we did a minute ago. So this one, when we bring it through here, is going to be a positive 4n cubed, a positive 3n squared, and then when the negative comes all the way through, it should be a minus 1. So now please look at this first trinomial and now this trinomial, because the first one just stays the same. Didn't do a great job of writing that, sorry. But now when we combine all of these like terms here, that's not the easiest to see. Again, I apologize. You have an n cubed and a 4n cubed. That's 5n cubed. Choice B is gone. Negative 3n squared, positive 3n squared. Those are totally gone right now. Those cancel out. So what we notice is D has n squareds in it right here. So that's not right. This one also has n squareds in it. That's not right. So A must be the right answer. And if you look, we had a 1 and a negative 1. Those actually cancel as well. So we only have, after we simplify, 5n cubed on that problem. Okay, another one here, number 12, just trying to get you to understand combining like terms on these problems. What we have here is just another addition. So you're going to now just simply combine like terms. I'm sorry, I underlined the wrong one there. 5n cubed and negative 3n cubed, grand total of how many? Well, that would be 2n cubed. So look for one of them that has 2n cubed. They all have 2n cubed. In fact, they all have 7n to the fourth, because there's no like terms with that one right there. So we got to keep going. Well, if we look at the n squareds and the n squared, there should be 7n squareds. Well, if I look in here, not here, not here, not here, there's a 7n squared right there. So choice C is the correct answer when you combine like terms there. Number 13 has a monomial times a binomial, so we distribute, and for the first time on this quiz, we start with the polynomials here, we start changing the exponents. So that's really 3x times x. 3x times x is actually 3x squared. And then when we bring the 3x through, that's a plus 3x times 2, or a positive 6x. And if we look at our choices, that's actually choice A. All right, so now the rest of these multiple choice questions here, sorry, I'm trying to get to page 3. The rest of these multiple choice is going to be with these polynomials being multiplied. Be very careful on this problem. There are distractors here. First of all, you do 3 times 3. So the first thing you do is a 9. There are no powers of powers up here. This isn't like the beginning of the quiz. This is bringing a monomial through. So what we're going to do is 3 times 3, which is 9. A to the fourth times A, that's going to give you A to the 5th power following our rules. And then we have B brought through, but that has nothing else to multiply, so we have a B there. So just by doing the first part, We're not done with this problem, but since it's multiple choice, I know A, C, and D are all not the correct answers. When you do bring this through, 3 times 2 is 6. A to the 4th and A gives you A to the 5th. B and B cubed gives you B to the 4th. Very confident that B is the correct answer to this problem. All right, for number 15, we must change colors here. I wish I had a metallic color because then I would write foil in that metallic color, but I do not, so I will stick with red. So foil stands for first, outer, inner, and last. So when we do this, the first terms, x times x, is going to give you x squared. Outer terms, a positive 4x. The inner terms, a positive 2x. And then the last terms, 4 times 2, is a positive 8. So we want to combine our like terms, which is going to give us a 6x there. So looking at these choices, it looks like x squared plus 6x plus 8, choice A is the correct answer. All right, so moving along, it makes this guy very happy. Do you see the person there? Yay, he's very happy, got the right answer. Okay, moving along. Number 16, same thing, foil. If we do the first, 4x times 4x gives me 16x squareds. I'm not gonna, well, I will write them down, but look at this very carefully. What happens when I do outside 4x times negative 7y, that's gonna give me a negative 28xy. But look what happens when I do the inside. 7 times 4, whoa, positive 28xy. Before we continue, hopefully you realize those are going to end up just canceling. And then we have the last, which is positive 7y times negative 7y, which is negative 49y squared. So looking at our choices here, C looks like the best answer for 16. All right, do a few more here, and then we'll switch to another video. Number 17, do not bring this 2 through. Ready? I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to erase it. That is a very bad thing. This is a plus sign here. We do not want to do that. That would be choice B. Choice B is a really, really bad answer. It's a good distractor. They want you to just do that. But remember, if I asked you what 5 squared is, I would hope you would recall that 5 squared is 5 times 5. So if I ask you for 7c plus 2 squared, hopefully you can see that that would be 7c plus 2 times itself, 7c plus 2. So if you know how to FOIL, you really should like these problems. You just have to rewrite it so it's the 2 binomials multiplied, then go through your FOIL process. Well, 7c times 7c, 49c squared. Outside, 7c times 2 is a positive 14c. Inside is a positive 14c. And then last, 2 times 2 is a positive 4. So when we combine like terms, we actually have 49c squared plus, I got 28 c's, and I'm going to tack on a 4 to the end. And looking at the solutions here, it looks like C is the answer. All right, here we go, 18. This is one where we're going to do a double distribution. Good thing we have different colors here. So first of all, take the 7n and distribute 3 times. So 7n times 4n squared is going to give me 28n to the 3rd power. 7n times 7n is going to give me a positive 49n to the 2nd power. 7n times negative 5 is going to give me a negative 35n. Switching to my other color now, I'll put blue on here. We now have to take the negative 2 through 3 times. So negative 2 times 4n squared is negative 8n squared. Negative 2 times positive 7 is negative 14n. Negative 2 times negative 5 is going to be a positive 10. Well, obviously none of the answers here actually have us going with this many terms, So we do have 28n cubed as our leading term. There are no other like terms, so we literally just got rid of choices A and C. And then if I look over here, okay, which one of these is correct? Right away in the n squared, there's a difference. So I've got 49n squareds here. I'm taking away 8 of those n squared. That's going to leave me with a positive 41n squared, so I can just say that D is going to be the correct answer to this problem. All right, here we go, number 19, getting you a little practice with scientific notation. First of all, the decimal place is right here. We need to move it. We're going to move it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. It now says 8.3, as do all of your answers there. So that's not the part that we're really going to get caught up on this problem. But we're going to take 8.3 and we're going to multiply by 10 raised to some power. Well, how far did we go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We went 5. But here's the deal. When you actually move the decimal to the right, it's a negative exponent. Just think about it. This, if you know a negative exponent makes you move the decimal to the left from scientific notation to decimal, then you should recognize that by looking at this right now, that's a very small number. If you would have given me this as your answer, 8.3 times 10 to the 5th, please just think the other way. The first thing you would do to this problem is move the decimal to the right 5. That's a very large number. That is not what we're looking for. So B is the correct answer. And that takes care of the multiple choice. I hope you have enjoyed this, but more importantly, I hope it has helped you a little bit to get better with these skills.